Welcome back to Lifting the Lid, the podcast where we lift the lid on the influencer space. And today I'm back with my co-hosts Lucy and Seran.
Hello.
Episode 5?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, okay.
That's kind of crazy that we've got to number 5 already.
It's gone quickly.
And what's been happening with you guys this week? Catch me up.
Oh, I have a funny story from yesterday.
Oh God, here we go.
So, Seran actually wanted to kill me. So, we went to an event with 2 of our creators, JC and Ellie. I can say who they are because the content's live already.
Yes.
And it was a campaign with 3. And it was all around like your mental health and not scrolling all the time on social media and blah, blah, blah. And we had to go to the event and JC and Ellie were filming some content, post a reel, and that was that. And it said on the brief that the class was heavy weight. And then I read lifting. So I thought, it's a gym class. Seran and I love a gym class.
Yeah, love it.
So we thought, brilliant.
Five Queens.
Yeah, really.
Absolutely. We thought, brilliant. Let's ask them if we can do the class as well. And they were like, of course you can do the class. Brilliant. So we're both really excited. And then we both actually figured out that because of what we had later in the day, we couldn't do it because we wouldn't have been able to shower and get ready. So I said to Seran, why don't you just message the lady and say, sorry, unfortunately, we can't do it because we can't be sweaty and gross.
Firstly, can I just say, it's very convenient that you got me to message that. I feel, were you trying to throw me under the bus?
No, I actually wasn't. I think you were messaging her about something else. And then, so Sarah messaged her and she was like, oh, it's not a workout class. It's a heavyweight listening class. But I read it as heavyweight lifting. So then,
What did you ask her?
just
I was like, oh, I'm really sorry. Like, we're so gutted. We're not going to be able to make the class. We didn't want to be all sweaty for our meetings later in the day. And then she was like, oh, sorry, I think there might be some confusion. It's a heavyweight listening class.
Unless listening gets you really sweaty.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, I guess, in our case. And then I was like, oh, whoops.
but then I'm thinking, thank goodness we decided we weren't going to do the class because we were going to rock up like full gym kit, no makeup, ready to go for this heavyweight lifting.
No, literally, it would have been horrendous. And Ellie and JC would have turned up in normal clothes and been like, why?
What are you
like,
wearing?
what are you doing? Would have been so funny.
Or you could have made JC and Ellie turn up like that, and then even worse, the whole of TBH would have just looked like they've lost.
But it was only all of us as well. They were the only
it was
creators.
just us. which
was
made it
even more
much
embarrassing.
worse.
But
She took it very well. Like,
Did she?
when she was lovely and she was like, haha, that was so funny. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
and I owned up.
You did.
I
You
said
did.
to her, it was me.
Appreciate that.
So we're
Teamwork.
just sort of out here making brands look like we kind of a little bit lost the plot. But other than that, what else has been going on?
And also love a workout. So
Which we do.
Yes,
That's one
exactly.
thing we did this week, climb to the beat.
Oh,
A little team
yeah,
workout.
I forgot, but God, that was this week.
Yeah, that was nice for Saran and Lucy's birthday.
Yes, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
We went to an exercise class and then had a nice brunch as a team, which was lovely.
That was so nice.
The workout class was weird though. Very strange.
Okay, I liked it. I enjoyed. Do climb to the beat, everyone.
And Seran, you had an exciting night last night.
I did. I am quite tired from it because I'm apparently a grandma. But I went to go see Mean Girls, the musical,
Love that.
which was 10 out of 10, like absolutely unreal. I'd never seen the show. I'd seen the Mean Girls, the musical, the movie. Wow, that's a mouthful. But I'd never seen the musical before. And wow, like incredible. Regina, the pipes on Regina were outstanding. But for me, the highlight happened before I watched the show because I went with Ellie and we actually met Louise Pentland, sprinkle of glitter. And my inner child was literally like having a nervous breakdown. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. But she was so nice.
YouTube royalty.
Absolutely.
And she is just like so lovely.
But
in
I'm
real life.
so sad for you that you didn't meet Baby Glitter.
I know.
I thought Darcy would
The
have been
way
there.
the way you guys are using her like YouTube
I know.
name is getting me.
She probably just wants to be called Darcy now.
No,
maybe.
on her TikTok recently, on Louise's TikTok, they've been doing really cute videos where
true.
Darcy opens Louise's PR parcels and she does refer to herself as Baby Glitter because I think it's just
Also, like, side note, but she's really smashing TikTok at the
Yeah.
minute. Like, I love this for her. Like, she's actually smashing it. I feel like all the girls who used to follow her back in the day have, like, who maybe like teetered off a little bit as they got a bit older, are now finding her again on TikTok and are now like being introduced to baby glitter again as a teenager. And it's just the most pure thing ever. I'm just obsessed.
Interesting, because I haven't seen her on TikTok, so I have to take a look after. What are you liking about her content?
I just think she's really adapted to the new platform. And obviously I think for such an OG creator, like personally, I've never seen like Zoella, Marcus Butler, Alfie Days. Like I've never seen their TikToks before, right? So for me to see Louise Petland doing it so organically and also like tapping into her now like growing relationship with her daughter, I just feel like it's really cute, and the way that she's doing it is so organic and feels the same, so it's kind of nostalgic.
And I also like the fact that she's not trying to just jump on all the TikTok trends and do what everyone else is doing. She's very much leaning into the fact, she's like, I'm from YouTube, I don't know what I'm doing. And she has that like amazing, like little bit goofy, cute personality. And I think that just lends itself so well to the type of content she's doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it really shows how important it is for creators, particularly like YouTube creators who literally started this, over 10 years ago, to evolve and jump on each new platform as it comes out. And it's really, really hard to do. Like when we were at Gleam, there were creators who, you know, were on YouTube and we were trying to be like, get on TikTok, get on whatever else the new platform is. I mean, even Instagram was like a new platform. And it was hard because you've got to switch up your whole way of creating content, your whole schedule. So yeah, kudos to her for doing that. God, kudos. That was a very like LinkedIn-y title. Kudos. Who says that?
Kudos to her.
What the hell?
I love that.
Something else has happened this week. We've had...
I'm scared.
Yeah,
You
me
said that
too.
really seriously.
Well, I don't know if we can actually talk about this one.
What? Wait, what the fuck? What is it? Sorry.
It's brands going behind our back and saying bad things about us to Sonia.
Oh no, don't get me
Twice.
started.
Then, guys, we have receipts.
And twice in 1 week.
Yeah.
Oh, it's savage.
So one particular scenario, I'll take the listeners through it. This brand had approached Sonia for a campaign. We'd gone through the whole process. They'd actually just decided randomly to pull out of their campaign, even though they use Sonia's content, which we have discussed in a previous episode.
This is a part 2.
This is a part 2. We're bringing you guys along. We had been basically chasing for this invoice because they needed to pay us for the work that had been done and completed and that they'd used. So on like the 14th of June or something, they sent us a question about the invoice. We replied on that day. They then sent us another question about the invoice and then we replied on that day. And then they proceeded to ignore us from when the invoice had been sent out, and we were chasing them weekly. Seran chased, I chased, Oz chased, who's our finance guy. I always want to call him our finance team.
Finance team. Well, he is.
He's a one-man
band.
I always say, looping in Oz from our finance team. He is the team.
Oz chased. It went straight back to Seran. Seran chased again. And then...
I feel left out, guys. I should have chased.
Yeah, you should have chased. And then Sonia was like, look, that's it. I've had enough.
Yeah.
Sonia sent a message to the brand direct with us all CC'd. The brand had the cheek to come back and say, sorry, it's late. Unfortunately, your agency has been slow with the paperwork.
Honestly,
and
I can't.
Were you guys CC'd on their response?
Yes.
Yeah. Like, I'm sorry, but we literally have the receipt. I can't deal. Like, are you okay?
And Sonia replied to us, like, privately, being like, as if they think that the agency that, like, literally has my back through everything and always delivers payment on time is just, like, I'm just going to randomly agree with what they say, even though they have the receipts. But it got our back up. We did make it very clear to the brand. We were like, look, obviously politely, as ever, we were like, look, we're a little bit confused because obviously, like, you know, we have our email thread that we've all seen and Sonia's seen it as well. And then they came back like, oops, sorry. Yeah, we did see that invoice that you sent. Our fault.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
So yeah, it's all been a bit dramatic.
Yeah.
That is dramatic. And also just like, I don't understand what brands think they're doing when they try and like undermine us. Do you know what I mean? It's like, they're not building a good relationship with that creator then, because the creator's instantly going to be like, a bit pissed off that
Yeah.
they're slagging us off in front of us and them.
The fact you were on the email chain just
It's
makes
just-
it even worse.
Bold behaviour.
Bold behaviour, major.
But we had the receipts, so it's all good. Our conscience is clean.
Yeah.
My blood is like boiling for you guys. I'm really unimpressed by that.
Talking of Sonia, all of the Sonias this week, and just generally at the moment / always, have just been so, like, they've just been killing me.
Yeah.
Like, one particular Sonia, and actually all of our Sonias, they have been emailing, like, if there's an opportunity, say, or an event or like something that they can't go to, they'll email us and be like, oh, this could actually work for Sonia. And it literally just kills me that they're like all allies to each other.
It's so nice. Like, I do think that's something that we've tried to create with our roster and really encourage them to just see each other as not as competition, but just to see each other as friends. And I hate to say this, but family.
When they actually hang out together and comment on each other's content, it makes me want to cry.
It's unreal.
I feel like a proud mother.
It's so pure and just shows that everyone's got such good intentions for each other and really want to like bolster each other up in the industry, because I do feel like this industry can feel a little bit scary.
Yeah.
Like, obviously I'm not greater, but if I was, I feel like I'd feel really maybe a bit isolated, and it's just nice to see them wanting the best for each other and really like building each other up.
And the fact they all know each other is so cute. And on the subject of them all knowing each other, one of our Sonias, when she was listening to the first episode of this podcast, I don't think she'll mind me saying this, messaged us saying, guys, random question, because I guess we didn't really clarify for the listeners.
That's very true, actually.
Sonia is an alias? Would that be the right word?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unsure. I think that's the right word. For all of our creators. So we're obviously not going to name people specifically in stories, so we're going to use Sonia instead. But this Sonia in particular messaged me and said, is there someone on the roster called Sonia? I had to look on the website and I can't find them.
That's so funny. I love that. But also I love the fact that Sonia had like gone to that trouble, looked on the website to be like, oh my gosh, I need to follow them. Like I need to find their page. I'm not supporting all of the roster.
Right?
It's like, love
I think
Sonia.
And it made me
previously,
die.
like, that's been really important to me with TBH, is like where I've been at other agencies, or like even hearing like other talent speak, it's been like, oh, I don't want to go on a roster like with other creators who might like steal my jobs.
Yeah.
Or like I need, I know certain creators who won't be with an agency because they're like, the other creators might steal my jobs. And I actually think it's a really, is it fair to say, short-sighted mindset?
Yeah.
Because I think like, it's all about like kind of, if you, for example, are like a business creator and you go on a roster with a business creator who is like bigger than you, but like, it has similar themes to you and covers similar topics, it's very likely that you will then get the deals that they don't want, which is great for you. But also like, there's such a thing in like community and like loneliness in the creator space, and like having people who are going through the same thing as you that you can lean on.
I think if anything, it is a benefit. If you think about how many times we obviously cross-pitch our roster for almost every single campaign and anything they're relevant for. So actually, if you have creators on the same roster as you that are going to be working with similar brands and have a similar vibe, then I think it's only to your benefit, because you're going to be, I guess, out there for more campaigns than you would have been if it was just you.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like instead of seeing each other as competition, it should be more like in complementary too, right? Yeah, and they're all together on a roster.
Yeah.
It's not Sonia against Sonia.
No, it's just one big happy Sonia family.
All the Sonias
Exactly.
together holding hands.
And guys, the Sonias have been Soniaing, so that has left us very happy.
So
this week.
happy.
Okay, in the spirit of lifting the lid, there has been something that's been on my mind recently, and I think I'm going to need to take it right back to tell this story to our listeners. And I'm going to anonymize as much as I can. We might need a few bleeps here and there, producer Sophia. But actually, maybe it is better you telling the story, Lucy.
Okay, I'm scared.
I'm trying to decide, because maybe it's...
I think I give the beginning because then it kind of hands over to you halfway
Yeah.
through.
Okay,
Cheers.
good plan. Lucy, over to you.
Please tell me if I'm saying something I'm not allowed to say, and please nobody come for me. So, it was a few months ago now. I had inbound for one of our creators, Sonia, and it was a normal campaign. It all seemed pretty normal to me. It was from an agency I'd never worked with before, but I was just speaking with the person at the agency, and then it got handed over to someone else, and that someone else was actually someone who I used to watch on social media back in the day. And I was like, oh, this is random. Like, I didn't know they had an agency now, but fair enough. I can say that, can't I?
Yes.
Okay. I Googled the agency just out of pure interest. They had a website, a LinkedIn, everything. So for me, that all seemed pretty legit and there was no red flags in my mind. Anyway, Sonia and I negotiated the deal, took it to Sonia. Sonia was happy to go for it. All was fine and well. And then we got to the point where it was contracting, and I thought, well, there's no way they're going to use our contract, but as always, I'm going to give it a go. And they said, yep, no problem, we can use your contract. And I was like, oh, wonderful, happy days. All was fine. Verity was on annual leave, by the way, for context at this point. And also, like, Seran and I are at the point in our talent manager journeys that we don't tell Verity about every single campaign we're discussing. Like, we do, like, the really, really big ones will come to you if we have a question specifically, but on, like, day-to-day, pretty straightforward campaigns, which this one seemed to be, we wouldn't tell you about it specifically. Obviously, you can see it on our systems that we track everything on. The contract was all finalised, and I literally uploaded the contract into Dropbox Sign, put in Sonia's email, put in the agency's email, and I don't know why, something in my gut just told me to message Verity about it. I literally have no idea why. I think your witch powers are rubbing off on me.
You're welcome. And you're welcome.
So, like, I literally just uploading the contract. Let me just tell Verity about this, because this is this YouTuber that I used to, I said the platform, sorry, social media person that I used to watch, and now I'm doing a campaign with them. Like, that's quite cool. Like, I'm going to be on a briefing call. Like, let me message Verity. So just message Verity. Oh, by the way, Sonia's doing a campaign, and you'll never guess who is the lead on the campaign. It is some person whose name I'm not going to say.
I think just say it.
Oh, God, I'm getting nervous. I'm getting a cough. It is.
And I was like, red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag.
And I was giving it, what's the drama? Like, I don't get it. Like, fair enough, though, I think. I had no right.
100% fair enough. The context for me was I'd previously seen this particular person work on campaigns with creators that leave the creators in very compromised positions and make the creator out to be quite stupid. And I did not want Sonia
Oh my gosh.
in any situation like that. So Lucy and I then had a conversation about this, and I explained the history of this particular person with creators and creating creator videos. And we then had a long call with Sonia. And right or wrong, we made the decision that it wasn't worth putting Sonia in that position. Now, we may have made a mistake. Perhaps this was a genuinely truthful, honest campaign, and we got it completely wrong. That is the calls that sometimes you have to make as a talent manager when you are protecting one of your clients.
And I just think no amount of money is worth the risk of putting any of our Sonias in that position, in a position where it could affect so many future campaigns and could just backfire on them. And that actually makes me feel physically sick, the thought of that could happen. But one of the things that I think is worth mentioning is we didn't obviously just say straight away to the agency, no, they're not doing it at the end, goodbye. We tried to get some more information to kind of see if we could figure out what the best thing to do was. So we asked about who the other creators were on the campaign, and we were sent a few different names, and that was fine. We were like, okay, that's good to know. When I say I have scrolled these creators' platforms up until now, and this was months ago, and I've still not seen a single video from that campaign go live. So something in my gut tells me we did make the right decision, or everyone else's management also panicked, and then just the campaign didn't go ahead.
Yeah.
I think it was sus, personally. I still think it's sus.
Because they were like, it's quick turnaround.
Yeah,
So
really quick.
presumably the content should have come out by now.
Yeah.
And when I say this comes up between us, like what, once a week, every 2 weeks, like we are obsessed. Like we need to know. But I don't know whether we'll ever get a definitive answer on this, unless said creator watches this podcast.
Hello, if you're watching.
And comes to us to tell us.
Yeah.
But
And you know what? Do I hope it was a real campaign? I do and I don't. Like, I think obviously if we did make the wrong call here, then we hold our hands up. But at the end of the day, one of the main part of our jobs is protecting our creators and doing what we think is the best. And we made that decision with Sonia that all three of us felt that was the best move, and that's all we can go on.
And Sonia knows that we have her best interests at heart.
100%.
And I don't think she would be angry with us were we wrong and it came out and it was a gorgeous campaign that we missed out on.
100%.
Because she knows that it wasn't coming from a place of malice. We just wanted to protect her.
100%. We love you, Sonia.
We love you, Sonia. Okay, so the main piece of feedback we've had about the series so far is you guys love when we hold nothing back and we spill all the tea on the influencer's face. So we've decided to put it out to our audience and get questions from our audience. And I genuinely don't even know where to start. We said the spicier the better, and our followers, they chose violence.
Oh no.
I'm scared.
We haven't seen these questions, by the
No.
way, so Verity is just springing these upon us.
Where to start, guys? Where to start? Let's start with this one. Have you ever worked with an influencer that was rude?
I think I have. Why not say that?
I can see the cogs in your brain turning.
Sorry, I was fucking scared.
No, okay, anything you say we can bleep.
Okay, so I have worked with, I'd say, a couple influencers in the past who I think have been a little rude. But I also understand that, like, this is probably going to be a very diplomatic politician's answer from me. But I also understand that everyone has bad days and stuff like that. And also, I just want to preface that these people are not signed with us. Just to flag that. These are not Sonia's.
Yeah.
These are people
Susans.
from the past. Susan, Sally,
Sarah.
Sandra. So, and I think that honestly, like, a big part of the talent creator manager relationship is like learning how to work together best. So perhaps me finding somebody rude is just not our personalities gelling in the best way, and also just like, I don't know, like different working styles. And I think actually, like, the more time you take like beyond that, it's a learning and makes you realize like what kind of people you work best with. And it's the same way as like if you worked in a normal job, you'd find some people a bit rude in an office.
Yeah.
You're skirting around the point. I want to know when they were rude and what they did.
Okay, well, certain people,
Sally's
would sometimes just be like thinking that they can do the job better than we can, which we all know I think is all of our bugbears.
Boring.
Is that a phrase, bugbear?
Yeah, I think so.
And like, I think giving constructive criticism is obviously fine. Like, we can all take it. We're all grown-ups here. But when you're being a dick about it, like, can you just not?
Yeah.
Like, you can say it to me nicely. If you actually have like a useful suggestion or you have a certain opinion on something that I've told you, you can say it in a really nice way rather than like being an idiot about it. And I think that's the biggest point.
Specifically, I remember when I negotiated, again, like these are not creators on our roster, just to confirm, but I'd negotiated a partnership for a creator from 15k to a 75k partnership.
Ooh, wow.
I was obviously like, they're going to be pretty happy about this. I was really excited to tell them. And I'd say like one thing that like is true of us is like we really feel the emotions of the creators on our creator.
On our roster.
We really feel the emotions of the creators on our roster. And we get so excited to tell them, like, when we know we've smashed it. And I'm sorry, but
that's massive.
I smashed it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
And I picked up the phone and they just sounded almost like disappointed. And what it was that, like, they'd come on a trial with us. So they were basically like, so are you going to take 20% on that? And I was like, you wouldn't have made, like, yes, but you wouldn't have made that money had I not have come in and negotiated the deal from a 1-month partnership into a 12-month partnership for you, adding in usage, exclusivity, all of those things. Like, why would you not want to pay someone who'd done work for you like that?
And also, how else do you think we make money? Like, that is literally the
just doing it
concept.
for fun.
Yeah.
Aren't you, Lucy? I'm just sat here for fun.
What?
So I think it's safe to say, like, obviously that relationship didn't work, because I think it's like, it's really important for the creators to see value in what you're doing. Like, if they don't appreciate you and appreciate the hard work and expertise and knowledge and value that you're trying to impart, and you are imparting, like, you are literally changing the game for them and changing the size of their campaigns, then it's never going to work. Because if they don't see it at that level, they're not going to see it when you get to the, you know, the big levels. They're like, when you're widening out their brand and you're, you know, doing so many things, like, across all sorts of, like, IP, podcasts, whatever, like, that's like on a small scale. So,
and the times that I've really experienced creators being rude to me is most of the time it's been related to payment. And one of the things that I find very hard in that situation is we can only control that to a certain extent, right? So obviously, for those that are listening who might not know, the setup of how this industry typically works when it comes to payment is the creator and the brand sign the contract, the brand pay us, and we pay out the creator once we've been paid. That's very standard. So obviously we cannot pay the creator until we have been paid, because that money is not there. And I remember, I don't know if you remember, Verity, one example very specifically in my brain where a creator was hounding me about having not been paid. And when I say hounding, they were sending me extremely rude messages, like almost every single day.
very rude.
About this payment. And obviously, every time I went back letting them know, obviously we get that how frustrating this is, but we are doing everything we can. And it actually got to the point where you had to step in and basically put them in their place and say, you can't speak to our team like this. And they never responded to your message. And I still remember that.
Because Lucy and Seran are polite queens. Like, they are not being rude. They are doing their best. And it actually, like, it really does make me upset. I don't want you guys to be in positions where you have people speaking to you like that. That's not fair. And I certainly had that. Like, I had experiences of that at Gleam, and it was really difficult. So we, as in a very corporate way of us, we put core values in place. And that is why all of our creators, it's so important to us that they align with our core values, which are all about, like, transparency and literally just being kind.
Yeah.
Just being a pleasant human.
It's a respect thing.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that is, like, at the core of it. It's like, we respect the creators that we sign so much, and it needs to be a two-way street.
And also, I think it's important to say that we wrote the core values to apply to Team TBH members as well. Like, it's not just for the creators we manage. Like, we all have to follow those core values as well. Like, if we're going to be rude to each other, then this is no fun.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
It's not.
Like, it's, what's that quote?
I don't know.
I love how, like, wide that was. Just
What's that quote? I'm scared. What about the horse in the water? You know I love that one. That's not relevant, but anytime I can say that, I'll whip it out.
No, that it's PR, not ER.
Oh, it's PR, not ER, yeah.
Like, it's really like, we're not saving lives here. We don't need to be rude to each other. Like, let's just have a fun time.
Yeah,
Exactly.
And obviously, this job gets stressful at times, and people get annoyed if they don't get paid or whatever. But come on now, I'm gonna actually probably chase your payment more if you're nicer to me.
Exactly, I know. What do they think they're getting if they're being rude?
Nothing.
An upset team member.
Exactly, and we don't want that.
We're sensitive souls.
We actually are. I'm an empath. Leave me alone.
Guys, that was a 10-minute answer, so we're gonna have to be pretty speedy with the next one.
Quick fire.
Okay, this one's a little bit lighter. But what do you think about creators crying on camera?
That's not very light.
Oh, is it not?
That's about crying. You all right?
Is that not like?
Hee-hee.
I guess it's a little less like, it's a bit less like, is someone rude?
I'd
Yeah,
say it
that's
depends
true.
on the circumstance.
Yeah.
Like, and also it depends on how comfortable they feel. Like, some creators really have that relationship with their audience where they're so open. Like, I feel like I always talk about OG YouTubers and the Brit crew. Like, I'm obsessed. But I remember when I was probably like in my mid-teens, Zoella making a video about anxiety, and she was really vulnerable and really honest and open, and I'd never seen a creator do that. And I think it's really important to be, if you're comfortable, honest with your audience, because it can sometimes be hard as a consumer, because you can look at a creator's life and think they're perfect, they're never sad. Why am I sad?
I do think that was unfortunate, that specific example, because I think that got memed a lot.
Did it?
No, you guys talk about the Brit crew and know so much more about it than me. And I
I
literally
swear that
went to
got
Clean.
memed. What was she saying? I can't even remember. Sorry,
remember.
that's a really stupid point from me. But I swear that video got memed. But again, that's like the risk.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
that's
It's like the Kim Kardashian meme of her crying.
yeah. It's like you can be so vulnerable, and so many of your followers may be like, oh my god, this is amazing, thank you so much. But at the same time, there's always an idiot on the internet
Yeah.
who's gonna spoil it.
My immediate thought was, I don't feel bothered by it. Like, I feel
Yeah.
like in many ways it's good to be emotional. Like, I think like so long as it's kind of, you know, for the greater good in a way, like if it's about like opening up a conversation or like, you know, I feel like lots of our creators are really like authentic and raw, and I think it can be really special.
I agree. And I also think like the flip to that, I again, I'm sort of indifferent. I'm like, if you want to do it. But I guess I feel the times where people may be a little irate about people crying on camera is perhaps if they're doing an apology video and then like the potential fake tears come out. Well, I don't know, like fake tears. Do you know what I mean? It's
This
that
annoys me
catfish.
because I'm like, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
Yeah,
like
sure.
everyone's like, you have to say something, you must put out an apology video. Where's the apology video?
Yeah.
And then creators apologize and they're like, that was rude and bad.
and fake. It's like they can't win.
Like they can't win, and I would be so stressed if I was them.
Oh my
Like
God, I know.
probably the easier thing to do is to just ignore it.
Yeah.
But then you get hounded if you ignore it.
But does it just go away eventually? I don't know.
Yes.
Depends how serious the thing is, but I would imagine that the best advice is just to write it out.
Well, Elle Darby is a great example of the fact that it does just go away if you just leave it a year and then start posting again.
I moved to America.
Yeah, I was going to say, she did move to another country.
Yeah, but her audience is all still UK and she gets so much like love. I do think it's just really interesting that everyone at the time was like, she's never coming back. And I was just like, she definitely will come back. So we've literally managed to answer like 2 of the 50 questions, but we might have to get back to that next week.
It's time for another listener's dilemma. Verity, do you want to take it away this week?
After years of working so hard to get my favorite brand's attention, I finally managed to sign a big deal with them, and I was so excited. But me and my creative friends, we always talk to each other about the deals that we get. And I was also really pleased for my friend that she had managed to sign a deal with the same brand. We got talking and we were talking about the terms and the fee and the usage and the exclusivity. And I found out that she was charging more for the campaign than me, and I have more followers than her. I'm not going to lie, I was really upset about it. We literally have the same brief, deliverables, everything. Is there anything that I can do?
This is why sometimes speaking about rates with fellow creator friends is a sticky topic. I know we're all for lifting the lid and sharing information, but it can lead to sticky situations like this.
Comparison is the thief of joy in your case.
Yeah.
It is. I think for me, the trouble with talking about rates is there are so many variables that could have come into this decision from the brand. And like, I do think it's really important to talk about rates because of, you know, things like discrimination, and, you know, that's obviously being open about it and creators all knowing each other's rates is a great way to stop that. But then at the same time, it's not about follower count. So even the way that this particular creator has said about follower count, it might be that your friend, feel mean saying this, but is more highly engaged, and therefore the value of one piece of content would be more because she might have, or he might have, 100,000 followers but a 10% engagement rate,
Yeah.
and you might have 200,000 followers and a 1% engagement
Yeah.
rate, and the person with 100,000 followers is getting more engagement.
It also might be as well, like the wider context of things. They might have a book deal, a podcast, you know, something that elevates them more. They also might have more experience negotiating than you.
Yeah.
So might have been able to understand how to kind of pull on different levers to be able to get that fee increase. If you do have sort of similar engagement rates, I don't know, that could be another reason why they were able to kind of push and get that higher fee.
And I guess it also could even be down to something as simple as at that moment in time that your friend was super busy with campaigns and they didn't really have the capacity to take on more work. So at that point, they're charging a surcharge, which sometimes is something we have to do when our creators are super busy. And for that reason, that is why the fee is higher, and the brand really wanted to work with them. So just accepted it to get them on the campaign. So it could even be something like that.
Yeah. I feel like it's definitely, obviously, like you said, Verity, is really important talking about it. And I feel like taking this as a learning for this listener with this dilemma is probably the best way to look at it, and to see how they can kind of start thinking about their rates in a different way in that kind of wider context sense, thinking about adding a surcharge and stuff like that. So rather than being upset that their friend has maybe managed to get a higher fee, maybe think, okay, how can I use my skill set? How can I use what I'm doing to kind of elevate myself in that way?
Absolutely. I feel like it's all about focusing inwards. Comparison is the thief of joy, and it is so easy to constantly compare yourself, particularly if you're a creator. You're always going to be looking at what your friends are doing, but at the end of the day, like, it really isn't a reflection on you or your value. There could be so many other things at play. So please just be really excited about the fact that you've got the deal and do a really good job. And it may be, if you do a really good job, you can then get a repeat deal with this brand and, you know, like secure them as a long-term partner. So there's so much opportunity. So try and focus on that rather than just the negative. In the words of Stephen, I can't say it. In the words of Stephen Bartlett, it helps us no end if you like and subscribe. Why does it sound like a charity? Guys,
Donate to Dogs Trust today.
for us to keep going, get more good guests, we need people to subscribe and follow.
Are we not good enough guests?
Wait, what?
I'm just going to ask you guys to please like and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts so we can keep lifting the load.
And reminder to follow us on our socials at TBH Talent.
And all of these episodes are also on YouTube. Just search TBH Talent.
Bye!
Bye!